Hey, it's Andy here from SheetReady. In the last tutorial, we learned all about the sheet. In this tutorial, we're going to learn all about formatting. Formatting allows us to turn a plain looking spreadsheet into something more attractive and easy to use. Okay, let's get started. First, let's enter some data. And as an example, I'm just going to make up some expenses. So let's start with the very top cell. And we're just going to write in date. I'm going to put in here description and amount and comment. In fact, let's swap these around. I'm just going to type over the top of it. I think what I'll do here, remember how to insert a column, is to put in a category. Okay, great. Now I forgot, I probably want to number all of these items as well. So we can add a column and we just put in the word item 1 and 2. And this is something that you can do in Sheets is I just left mouse button dragged across those two cells. Now see in the corner here, I have the option to pull down and it will do a little bit of thinking for us and it will continue those numbers consecutively, which in this case is exactly what I wanted. Okay, now there you have it. So something's a bit strange with these numbers here. Let me have a look at this and see. All right. I think I'm actually using the US date format. Yes, I definitely am using the US date format. So if we are now in December, let's go to the next day. You know what? I'm going to do something. I'm going to say equals whatever that date is plus 1. It's going to go to the next day. And then if I pull this down, it'll just copy the formula. So let's get into formatting now. Let's change up what this can look like. And let's start with the cells themselves. So looking at item, we have the ribbon up here. And there's quite a bit that we can do with formatting. So let's have a look at the font. We've got the default font and any changes that we make will apply to the selected cells. In this case, it's just the one cell. We've got so many options to choose from. Let's have a look at what Roboto looks like. Not too bad. You can increase the font size or decrease it with the plus and the minus sign, or you can simply type in the font size that you want. Let's have a look at 16. Okay. What else can we do? Let's keep moving along the bar here. We can make it bold. Maybe that's something that would be good considering it's a heading. We can italicize it. We can strike it through and we can change the text color itself. So there's any number of colors you can choose from the palette that's here, or you can add your own custom color by pressing the plus sign. Now we can scroll through the whole rainbow and then we can pick any of these colors, or we can pick a custom color, and it looked like there were two ways to do that. Just coming back in here again, we can pick a custom color right from that little drop down as well. So if I wanted the green, all right, there, let's pick that green. And you can see there that the font has changed to that green. Just looking at this is a new feature, and you can see here that Google Sheets has introduced tables, which have been in Excel for some time. This will convert to the formatting of the table, but a table is actually something different altogether, and we will cover that in another tutorial. So for now, I don't want that, and I'm going to reject that suggestion. Great, so there we go. Now, if I like the look of that, I can copy it. I left click and drag across these cells. I right click and I paste special format only, and all of my headings are now the same. In fact, why don't we change all of the fonts here? I'll click on the entire sheet with the left button and I'll change everything to Roboto. Okay, still looking at cells, something else that we can do is we can fill a cell with a color. So in this case, we've used dark green as our font. For the background, we can choose any color we like. Light purple 3. Wow, that's making a statement. Let's in fact try a light green. And as you can see, we can do it to any number of cells that we want. Whoops, that's a common mistake that I often do. If you make a mistake like that, just click undo. What we really wanted was this fill color. Now, as an example, to make the rest of our data stand out, we might just select, let's just go with some kind of gray. So already our information, which looks a little bit like a table now, is starting to take form. It's starting to take shape just by applying some formatting to it. Okay, next on the toolbar we come to borders. Borders remind me of spreadsheets that I used to use a long time ago. It seems to be a little bit old-fashioned now to have borders around each cell, but anyway, you can select the border color. Here you can select the thickness, and we're on a very thin border at the moment. If you select this, it'll just put borders around all the cells. So let's have a look at what this looks like. Okay. Now, we probably get more of an appreciation if we went to the print preview as to what that looks like. It's definitely put borders there. Let's cancel out of that. Something else you can do with borders is you can just do an outline. So let's select all of our cells again. And this is something that I use from time to time. So let's just say we wanted a thicker outline, and you just click on the outer borders. There we go. And again, you'll really see what that looks like in the print preview. Very bold indeed. Cancel. It has its place, but it can make spreadsheets look a little bit dated, a little bit old-fashioned. So if you want to get rid of all the borders, you can clear the borders. There are other options here too. Perhaps you just want a border along the top or the bottom of the side of the cells that you're selecting, and there's any number of ways you can do that through here. Something else that comes in very useful is the ability to merge cells. I can't think of a reason we'd want to do that here, but just to demonstrate what that looks like, you select however many cells you want to merge and click on merge cells, which is here. There we go. There's a couple of types as well. Generally, you just click on the merge cells icon. Heads up. Merging cells will only preserve the top leftmost value. Merge anyway. Sure. And I'm going to hide this warning for the next 5 minutes. There we go. There are many cases where merging cells is very useful indeed. As always, we can just undo, Ctrl Z, or click the undo button. Something that will be of use to us perhaps is the alignment. So we can select an individual cell, several cells, an entire column, an entire row. In this case, let's select an entire column and let's make that centered. Then we can select the edge of the column here with our left mouse button and we can drag it in. Vertical alignment is a very interesting one. Let's drag this top row down. You can see how the vertical alignment is on the bottom. You might prefer with headings and perhaps even with the rest of your information to have it in the middle. Let's have a look at that. Perhaps that's a little bit too big now. And you can see there that probably, to me anyway, looks a bit better than what it was doing before, where it was all the way down the bottom. But it's up to you. It's whatever you prefer. I'm just going to undo that. Okay, text wrapping I covered briefly in the first tutorial. Okay, text rotation, it can actually come in handy usually when you're short of space and you have many columns, for example, and you might rotate the text up and then drag it down. And particularly this comes in handy with numbers. All right, now looking at these values here, we might want to change these into currency format. So there's a quick way to do that. That is to select format as currency, and we can do that straight away. But notice here that we're looking at dollars and cents. if we just want dollars, we can also decrease the decimal places. The same measure, you can also do the same thing with format as a percent or additional formatting as well. So while we're on the subject, this formatting can be pulled up from the button here, and you can also click in the menu and you can get categories of formatting too. Now that we're in the menu, let's just have a look. We've got automatic, so it'll try and figure it out for you, or plain text. We've got a number format, a percent, scientific. I'll just go down to date. I don't want to turn my currency into dates. Let's go back to my dates. Turn them into dates. It looks like they already are. The thing is though, you might want to show dates in a different format. Let's just make this a bit wider. What do I mean by that? Well, let's have a look. Number, custom date and time. This is one that I do use from time to time. So you can see here that there are already some custom dates. I'm going to delete all of these. And in the drop down, you can see that I have some options here. So let's go with the day. And then I can drop down from day and say the abbreviation or the full name, etc. So we'll use the short format and let's select the month, select the year and apply. Okay, I'm not too sure why you would want to do that. I missed a step. So what I did here, let's go back again, custom number format. See how it's put it in with the code now? So let's just go day, and you can see the sample there. In fact, we don't really need that middle dash anymore. Apply. Cool. It's also given it to me in the Aussie preferred date format. The other way to do that is to change back in your settings, change the locale to Australia in my case, and then it will automatically update the default date format. The other thing you can do here, if you can't see the edge of a row, is just to drag the column out and to make it a bit wider. I'm going to try and undo my formatting now to show you the next thing. So let's go through and we'll go reset text. Let's set it all to say 11 and make it Roboto. Let's reset the format, the background, fill color. And the only thing I'll keep, I think, is bold. Now I'm going to select all of my information and I'm going to format it with alternating colors. Now what this does by default is it gives you a different color for your heading and then alternating colors for your rows. What I find is that the second color is usually too light for me, particularly if I print something out. So I'm just going to move up a couple of colors there. Maybe that's too much. I'll just go this one. Done. Yeah, I should have done the second one. There we go. Now this is looking very much like a table, but it's not quite a table. A table is a different kind of entity. But as you can see, it does make the information easier to read. And when we go to print this, let's have a look at it. Yeah, it's pretty clear. You don't really need to have the borders like we had before to see how clear that is. Something else you can do is to hide the grid lines. So if we go to view and turn off the grid lines, it's very, very clean. We go to print preview, very clean indeed. All right, so if we were to put this all together, if this was something that I really wanted to look pretty, what I would do is I would insert another couple of rows above and I would give the whole thing a heading. So I would say, let's call this expenses October 2024. Obviously it's not all of them. And I'm going to make that left formatted, and I will increase the font size so that it looks like a decent heading. With this row, I'm going to keep it, but I'm just going to make it very small. Actually, I can get rid of it altogether. The reason I can get rid of it is because formatting of expenses, the title is in the middle, and I think that looks fine as it is. To be fair, I think the heading date doesn't really line up with the dates. The positioning of all of these is on the right. So let's just move this across, and then I'm going to change the heading to the right as well. Same thing with amount. Description I'll leave because it's left justified. Great, I think that is quite usable. Something else we might like to do is there could just be a couple of entries that we're really interested in. So you could, for example, change the fill color to make it stand out. Maybe not quite as bright. You could either do it for the amount, or indeed you could do it for the entire row. I think I'll make the heading 1 larger as well. Let's have a look at print preview now. That's pretty good. I'll cancel. Something that also might help a little bit is to select all of the active rows and to left click on any one of them and just drag it a little bit. What this will do is it just makes them all a little bit more spaced, as you can see. And that might also be easier to read. Let's have a look. Great. So there we go, some very simple formatting things that you could do, and I think it just really helps to understand formatting so that you can clean up information and that you can present it in a way that's more engaging, whether it's just you using the spreadsheet or whether someone else is using it as well. Okay, so what I might do here is I'm just going to make this say expenses, just in case we need to come back to this sheet as we're going through these tutorials, and I'll add another one, and that can be our fresh template for next time. Great, well I hope you really like this tutorial. In the next tutorial we're going to have a look at formulas and functions. And it will be the basics. We're going to cover off formulas and functions that are useful in everyday use. We're not going to go too advanced with it. We'll save that for another tutorial. If you're liking these tutorials, don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you're looking for pre-made spreadsheet templates for your own personal finances and for getting organized, please check out my website, which is sheetready.com. Bye for now.